Hey guys, so we're just going to hop straight into today's tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to get some super easy moisturized defined twist to use as a protective style during this quarantine season. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, just keep on watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So what I'm going to use is I have my spray bottle because my hair is it's a little damp, but most of it is dry because I had it wrapped up in a t-shirt. I'm going to use the Miele Organics Pomegranate and Honey Leave-In Conditioner, the Miele Organics Moisture RX, which is the Hawaiian Ginger line. I'm going to use the Moisturizing Styling Gel. And then for my scalp, I'm going to use this Eden Body Works Papaya Castor Scalp Massaging Serum. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take my hair out of this ponytail. Y'all, my hair is a mess. Oh, and I'm just going to use like a wide tooth comb, and maybe my paddle brush because I can't find my detangling brush, which is annoying. So guys, what you see me doing here is I'm just taking my wide tooth comb and I'm doing my parts. My first part I'm gonna do is gonna be from ear to ear. I tried to make the parts kind of as straight as possible, but I didn't really care too much about what they look like because I mean I'm gonna have a lot of twist in my head. Alright guys, and once I finish that big part separating the front and the back, I'm going to put the back in a ponytail just to get it out of the way. And I'm going to take the front and I'm going to take my rat tail comb and I'm going to do a middle part. This part I'm going to work on for a little bit to make sure that it's as straight as possible because honestly y'all, I suck at parts. So it takes me a couple tries to get it right. So after I finish perfecting my part, I'm just going to take those two front sections and I'm just going to put them in little buns, clip them off with a clip, and then in a few seconds you're going to see me go and split that back section into two smaller sections so that it's easier for me to work with while I get ready to twist it on up. So like I said, I'm going to split that back section into two smaller sections, but I'm pretty much just going to split it the same way I separated the front from the back. So I'm just going to take my wide tooth comb and I'm just going to kind of split it straight across so that I have two smaller sections to work with. And then just to get that middle section out the way, I'm going to take another scrunchie, put in a little bun, tie it out the way. So this way I have 4 separate sections to work with. So I'm just going to quickly show you my 4 different sections. So I have the 2 in the very front, the 1 in the middle, and then the 1 in the back. Before I twist anything up, I make sure to spray each section with water. I pretty much spray it until it's damp enough, and then I'm going to use the Miele Organics Honey Pomegranate Leave-In Conditioner, put that on the whole big section, and then I'm going to take my wide tooth comb and comb it through. So after I finish combing through the leave-in conditioner through the whole section, I'm going to take my rat tail comb and I'm going to part off my first row so I can start twisting. I made my rows pretty thin so that my twists wouldn't be super thick and big, so that they'll last a lot longer. And then right about here, I'm going to show you what that first row looks like. And don't worry about the parts because it's in the back of your hair, nobody's gonna see it. So then I'm going to use the Miele Organics Hawaiian Ginger Styling Gel, and I'm gonna put that on each individual twist. So I'm gonna part it, and then I'm gonna put the gel on my hair, and then I'm just gonna twist. I also want to make a note that how big or small you make each individual section or part for your twist will determine how big or small your twists turn out. So this first section that I parted off, I thought was a good enough size, but a little bit later you're gonna see me go back and take that twist out because it ended up being a little bit too big, and then the twist next to it was a lot smaller than that one was. So just kind of make sure you're making each individual twist about the same size. So here you're just going to see me repeating that same process for my next twist. I'm going to take my rat tail comb, part off that individual section. I'm going to add the gel, work it through, and then I'm going to start twisting. Throughout the video, you're also going to notice that on some of the twists, I'm going to use the rat tail comb to part it, and then some of them I'm going to use my fingers. There's really no real reason for why I did that. Sometimes I just use my fingers, sometimes I use the comb. Doesn't really matter. And then on some of the twists, I might have forgot some gel just because I got distracted. So, I mean, it doesn't make a big difference, but you want to just kind of make sure you're being consistent with everything. So this is where I finished my first row, and I have 4 twists in total. And you can see I was looking at those 2 twists and I was like, okay, these are not the same size. And I was like, okay, I'll just leave it. But then I was like, no, that looks a little stupid. So I went back, took both of those twists out, and I re-parted it and then retwisted it back up. And I really probably should have did it on the other side too with the other 2 twists, but I ended up just leaving it alone. And I just added a little bit more gel to the section, and then just twisted it on back up. So after I finish retwisting those 2 twists that I wanted to fix, I'm going to take my rat tail comb and I'm going to part off my next row. Again, I try to make them pretty thin so that my twists are a decent size. And then I'm just going to repeat the same process. I'm going to part off each individual section, add the gel, and then twist it up. So I'm just going to speed through the rest of this back section. Alright guys, I'm back, and I've done the whole back of my head. As you can see, like, my twist looks super, like, healthy, if that's the word I want to use. They look, you know, like moisturized and juicy, and this is what the back looks like. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the front, and then we'll be done. Alright y'all, so I've moved on to this first front section, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did to the other 2 sections. I'm going to spray it with water, make it damp, put it in the leave-in conditioner, and then comb it through, and then I'm just going to section off my rows and then twist it up. So as I'm finishing this first twist of this section, I'm just gonna tell y'all some weird stuff about the front of my hair. So the front of my hair is longer than the back, right? But on the sides, so like that twist right there, the ends are so stringy, and so it doesn't curl up like the rest of my hair. And then my edges are thinning out, y'all. So I'm just like, the front of my hair is a mess. I need my ends trimmed. So really, like, I'm just making the best of what I got during this here quarantine season. And y'all, I've been going through it with my hair since we've been stuck in the house. Like, just a bunch of weird stuff has been happening. And it's just been rough. But let me know in the comment section how y'all are managing during this quarantine time. Alright, so as I'm finishing this last twist in this row, I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead to the next section because I'm really just repeating the same processes. I just, part my rows, part out my twists, twist to death. In the front, I don't really aim for a certain number of twists in each row, at least not in this first section. I just kind of do however many is gonna keep them the size that the rest of my head is, if that makes any sense. Alright, y'all, we're almost at the finish line. I repeat the same steps on this last section. Spray with water, add leave-in conditioner, detangle, part, gel, twist. But what I'm kind of showing you here is that for this last front section, I tried to have the same amount of rows in both front sections. So on the left side, I had 5 rows. So on this right side, I'm going to have 5 rows. And then for each row, I try to have the same amount of twists. So that top section, I had 3 twists in it. So when I get to the top of the right side, I'm going to put 3 twists in that one. So pretty much I have the same exact sections in the front of my head. I don't do that for all the other sections, so like the 2 back sections, but the 2 front ones, the sections everybody can see, I try to make them exactly the same. So as I'm finishing this first twist in this section, I'm going to show you guys how my ends are weird on this side too. Like, this twist curls up a lot more than the other side, but it still doesn't curl up as much as the rest of my head, which is so weird, but I refuse to cut it off. And I'm just gonna finish off the rest of this section like I did the rest of my head. Same process, nothing has changed. So I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit more so you don't have to sit and watch me do the same things over and over again. So jumping ahead, right here I'm just showing you how when I get to this very last row, I'm making sure that my parts match up across my middle part. So I take my comb and I kind of start with the part from the left side and drag it over to the part for the right side so that it's like one straight line. I hope that makes sense. But pretty much just making sure I have the exact same parts on the very top of my head so it looks like one continuous row. We're done. So this is the finished look. My twist looks super like juicy and moisturized, and I'm probably gonna leave these in for maybe like a week or so, or just until I'm tired of looking at them, or I need to actually wash my hair. So that could be like a week and a half. I need to go back through because I was supposed to do this while I was actually doing my hair, but I'm gonna go back through and put the serum on my scalp, the Eden Body Works serum I said I was gonna use. So I'm just gonna clip the front sections up, and then I'm gonna just go back through each row, put this on my scalp, put it in between each twist, and then I'll be done. Yeah. So my hair is officially done now. It's still kind of damp from when I like went and wet each section. Plus, I mean, putting the leave-in and the gel on it made it wet. So I'm gonna just hang out for the rest of the day, finish this movie, let it air dry, and then tonight I'm just gonna wrap it up with a scarf because I lost my bonnet, and then I'm just gonna let it do what it do for the next few days. Thanks for staying with me and watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Peace.